It is outstanding to have this kind of attention drawn to this. For those of you that are Vietnam veterans, for those of you that are family of Vietnam veterans, for those of you that are friends, neighbors, for those of you of a certain age who remember the way this gripped our nation, the way it literally challenged our souls in many respects for year after year after year, I thank you for being here. To those of you that are standing above me in some respects and were born long after this was inked into the history books, I thank you as well, because you are the ones that someday people will stand in this assembly and stand in this auditorium, in this rotunda, and honor folks like you for the service that you will pay. It's a proud tradition that you are looking to be a part of and that so many in this room are a part of. And it transcends your rank, it transcends your branch, it transcends the period of time that you serve. It has been a nonstop march of service, frankly, since this nation was founded 240 some odd years ago. And when a moment ago, appropriately, we rendered salutes and respect and honor to this flag and to our national anthem, it wasn't the words of a song alone. It wasn't a piece of cloth. It wasn't just something made of red, white, and blue and a little bit of gold tassel, a few stars and some blue. It's what this represents. This is what men and women have served in defense of. It is the principles of this nation. It's not a flag. When I hear people say, oh, it's just a flag, come on. You don't understand what it represents. Those of you that have served understand what it represents. It's why for so many people, whether you've served or not, it's moving, frankly. When you hear our national anthem sung beautifully in ways as it just was that evoke emotion, when we pledge our allegiance, this isn't just some trite memorized phrase. It means something. It means something that 50-some-odd thousand men and women who gave their lives during this war that we're here to honor today. It means something to the families of the 1.5 million Americans who have died in this nation's uniform since the inception of this nation. How blessed we are to be Americans. How blessed we are to be gathered here in a public place, freely assembled, speaking freely. We have the ability to worship freely. We have the freedom of the press. We have freedoms that most people who have ever lived in the history of the world will never experience, ever. So much of the world, even today, has no idea of the types of blessings that we have. And so few of the most powerful among them have anything to do with government. With all respect to myself as a governor, to the legislators that are in here, to the people who stand around these walls, to the man who's featured here in this bronze statue, all having a role at some point in time, to some degree, to this march of history that we're talking about. But truth be told, nobody in government has much to do with what it is we're here to celebrate today. We're here to celebrate the defense of those inalienable rights. Those inalienable rights that our founders of this nation took it upon themselves to recognize as not coming from government, but coming from our Creator. But additionally, they codified those together with others that government has a right and a responsibility, frankly, to protect. And that is backed up by the lives and the blood of the sons and the daughters of nations such as ours, who are willing to step forward. This is a somber thing that we're here to honor, but it's also a time of celebration, of gratitude, and of appreciation. The right to life, the right to liberty, the right to the pursuit of happiness, these things that we often think about in a more cryptic phrase, which is the American dream. The American dream is a real thing. It's a genuinely real thing, and it has been bought for, paid for over and over and over and over again. generation after generation after generation. To those of you that are in this room whose family members have paid the ultimate sacrifice, I thank you. On behalf of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, on behalf of my fellow veterans, on behalf of this nation, to the extent that I can speak for one moment, I say thank you, because it's a debt that frankly can never be repaid. It's one that those of us who have not yet paid that ultimate sacrifice, and we hope and pray never will pay that ultimate sacrifice, will never really understand. And yet you see memorialized on walls, whether it's a sample of a wall or whether it's the real wall that you see in Washington, D.C. For this war alone, name after name after name after name. These are real men, these are real women, these are real faces, these were real lives, these were real dreams, these were real hopes and aspirations. These were brothers and sisters and uncles and aunts. These were fathers and mothers. These were people whose American dream was truncated so that ours could continue. This isn't a game. We're not here for pomp and circumstance. We're here in gratitude. I hope we're here to remember, and I hope we're not here to remember just for one day. I hope we're here to remember deep inside of us, to pass on to our children and to our grandchildren in appreciation for what this cost has truly been. I was a kid who grew up in a very financially humble situation. I would have had zero chance to go to college if it were not for scholarships and opportunity. This is one of the ways I found myself in the military. But one of the things that I also received, in addition to an ROTC scholarship that helped me, was a scholarship that was given in the name of a man named Ronald Scharnberg. And Ronald was a man who graduated from the same university I happened to go to and was killed in Vietnam as a young major, killed in action. I never had a chance to meet his family. I never had a chance to know him, obviously. It was given in his memory. It was given to a kid like me who was trying to pursue the American dream, who was willing to serve this nation in uniform, who was willing to fight to preserve the very values that so many of you in this room have not only served, but are here to pay respect to. I had a chance to go to the wall many years ago now, but after it had been put up for some years, and to find his name. I would encourage each and every one of you, you know of the wall, you've heard of the wall, you've seen replicas of the wall, but if you've never been to the actual wall in Washington, D.C., or if you have been there, and as you exit the Lincoln Memorial, it's down to your left, if you've never taken the time to physically just stand and observe it, and to see how it goes on, section after section, with the tens of thousands of names etched, I would encourage you to do it. You will never forget how you felt when you did it. And if you know a name, go to the books and look up where that name is and go and put your hand on that name, because while you will feel nothing more than the same thing you might feel in some other place, which is the feel of cut stone under your fingertips, I would submit to you, you'll feel more than that. You'll feel something more deeply. I don't know what it is. There's something very powerful about it. I think those in this room understand it. Take the opportunity to remember, not just today, but every day. To honor when honor is due, and to pay that respect every time you have a chance, and to pour into the next generations an understanding and an appreciation. Because in a world where everybody is busy, with one of these little devices in their pocket, and we're all digitizing our way through life with our faces down and our thumbs going crazy, how easy it is to forget moments like this, sacrifices like this, the very things that we're honoring when we pay allegiance to this flag. I'm grateful to each and every one of you for being here. Specifically to those members of this artillery unit, as a former Red Leg myself, I'm a little partial to those that will be singled out for honor today. It really is, in many respects, to borrow a phrase from that particular branch of the Army, It's about putting steel on target. Every one of us has a responsibility to do that in some measure, to be intentional about what we're doing with the gifts we've been given, with the offices that we've been given, with the platform that we've been given, with whatever it is that you have in your world of influence. Are you putting steel on target? Are you taking what has been given to you to put steel on target like a laser, to dial it in and to fire for effect in a powerful way, so that you transform the lives of people around you and you make America a better version of itself, and you make Kentucky a better version of itself, and you make your community a better version of itself, and you make your family a better version of itself, and you do this out of honor, and you do this with respect to those who have given their lives to allow us that opportunity. I hope so. I'm honored to be your governor. I'm grateful to be here with you. Thank you. I'm going to now sign a proclamation here. God bless each and every one of you.